philanthropists, they're gonna kill that man because everybody needs to make our money. You know what I mean?
Okay, you said sweatshops, right? I seen something on Twitter recently where Sheen invited like collaborators, and like people were getting at them in the comments like, "Yo, you're showing like almost the clean part of your factory, like the workers are happy and everything like that, and then, but they're not seeing the real, rugged like the sweat,
But yo,
the dirt."
Allegedly, some of this was it Fashion Nova? Allegedly, a lot of these clothes had like cancerous chemicals in the clothes or something like this.
What they spray?
True this was?
What they spray it with apparently.
Rotted.
That's yeah.
So it's high. It's low impact over long periods of time.
Yeah.
Chronic. Yes.
Still not okay though.
But I mean, who is at fault? Because if it's cheaper to get the stuff that will work and it's more carcinogenic or it's like better, it's worse for your livelihood or your health. But the people who know that it's going to be worse for your, they make it at a low price. But the people who know something that's better, cleaner, more optimal, this, that, and the third, and ideal, ideal, yes. Especially for the betterment of society, the individual, and the work environment, they want to charge it up the hoo-ha. So who's to blame?
I mean, people are to blame, yeah. Like
the person who's greedy, clearly.
Yeah. Right. Now, hold on. Slide back with the sub, right? 250,000 a seat. How'd they go to the washroom?
That was the other thing. Suppose there's a little hole.
They showed us a little toilet.
Little hole thing, yeah.
So it was like in a jailhouse style, like there's someone just everyone's just in there, and the guy just pulls.
Yep.
I gotta use the washroom, and then you just.
Everyone's looking at you while you go and take a poop.
That's.
That is famous. But here's my thing.
Those tacos.
$250,000 per seat to go on a submarine. $250,000.
Imagine.
That is crazy.
And you can't even stand up, eh? So you're really kneeling to go and poop, and you're really kneeling to pee.
That's. They really put them back.
The size of an man. I don't even know how do people use the washroom.
Yo, honestly, the demonstration of it out here.
Wow.
If y'all know how those certain commercials where they tell you how you're actually supposed to go to the washroom, they said that the Western society toilet is not the healthiest way to go to the washroom. They say that you're actually supposed to be squat.
Yeah.
This is how they probably are taking a shit.
Wow.
In front of each other.
Yeah, and just.
And of course, because they all got, they got dinglings, so they gotta like push the thing down and pee in the hole too.
But keep this in mind.
It's like a porta potty.
Keep this in mind. I'm starting to realize that a lot of rich people, or like, I don't know what the word is for these type of people, but like,
right, people who are financially stable. Yeah, let's say that.
I don't know,
overly abundantly stable. Probably will never see the end of their money. Yes.
Certain societal things don't cut it anymore. Like it's not it anymore. Like.
But can you say? But wait. I don't want to do that anymore. Well, wait. Can you say that they are societal things? But how would they say that these are societal things if they never have experienced every other group of people?
But that's what I'm saying. They can pay to. They probably see, like, you know what I mean?
But I can watch them on TV.
Right.
I don't have to interact with them. Those.
I can pay.
I'm gonna interact with them. I can watch them on TV.
These people can pay to get in. I mean, look at hip hop. You can pay to get in.
That's a sad fact. That's a sad.
A lot of these people are not a part of the culture, but they have the money to be a part of the culture.
Understood. But like they would have more fun if they just actually met somebody who really only had 20,000 in their bank account every year.
But that's not what they want. They want the culture.
But that's a part of the culture. You pay somebody to be your tour guide. That's it.
Part of the culture.
Not the tour guide.
Simple.
Yo.
Let that be known. If you are making over $1 million and you want to be a part of the culture, pay somebody. So they could be your tour guide, and now you have access to the culture.
But they don't want to be the tour guide.
All
They
right.
want to own the tour guide. They want to own it.
Well, okay, yeah. So they would, if this is alleged, they would use the tour guide technique, and then eventually just own the culture, and then push the person
Exactly.
out the culture.
That is fine. But
That's fine.
that is fine. But you would have to actually meet who owns the culture at the moment anyways through that person.
So are you gonna be fine eating Starbucks rice and peas or Starbucks palau? Huh?
You say Starbucks palau?
You gonna be okay with Starbucks palau? Huh? In Eglinton? Huh?
Starbucks palau
I cannot.
sounds insane.
Because yeah, they want to be a part of the culture. They could you say you're okay with that. You okay with that?
How would Starbucks do with a Caribbean restaurant? Now I'm curious about that now.
But are you okay with that? That's what I'm asking.
Well,
That's
it would
not
be
about
nice
how
to
would they
actually
do.
see
It's,
them
are you
in
okay?
the culture first.
I'm gonna say nah, cause we've seen what franchises do, and it's not working so far.
That means they would actually have to be in their house though.
Well, yeah.
So when would that happen? That's gonna take a bit.
That's
Gonna take a
Says who?
bit.
Says who?
Says
who?
says me. How long does it take for you to meet a new person before they get into your house?
Yo, it takes a while still.
Exactly.
I don't just let.
I'm not letting anyone in my house, so
Yeah.
it's gonna take a bit.
If you have the right money to just buy the house, it doesn't matter if you need to take time to get in the house.
It still would take time.
That's kind of fair.
I mean, this is a fine example about it. You have enough money, you do whatever you want. And that's what I'm saying. You could literally do whatever you want, like get a submarine.
Understood.
And
But
go
how
on
come
the
they
water.
couldn't pay for the safety and liabilities on top of it?
Oh, that's just the CEO being cheap, allegedly. I mean,
You got the money.
but he has the money, but he wants to make more money. So some people cut corners anyway.
Yeah, but they could have charged extra. They could have upsailed on that.
Could've, but they rather
They
not.
really
But-
could have.
Cut corners.
See, you know,
It's more.
hold on. This world, some people like, if they could really like cut corners, like I understand upselling like the material,
You could
right?
have upsailed so much. You could have upsailed the adventure. You could have upsailed the safety. You could have upsailed the actual air tightening with actual tools instead of manual hand tools. Like you could have upsailed it all.
Yeah, but you know what's the easy?
not how it
You know what the
works.
least path of resistance is? I'll just cut the corner. I don't want to do all that.
Right. Right.
It's sad, but you know what? You know
Are
how,
we okay? Hold on. Are we talking from a place of people who don't have money or a place of people who have money?
No, they have it, but they're it's no. I realize it's a psychological thing. Like it's even when someone's making a lot of money. Like let's say they produce $1 billion a year, right? They got people like shareholders to attend to and everything. They want to make $1.5 billion next year. They could make the product better, and it sounds nice what you're saying. It sounds nice, but they're just like, well, let's just cut staff. Easy, just cut staff. We're not gonna make the product better, really.
Remember,
We're not even gonna really
you
spend
gotta-
on advertisement. We're just gonna cut the staff. Just
You see it with certain
see it every day.
companies. Sometimes you have 5 people in the job at first, and then you realize 4 people can do the job. Let's get rid of 1. Then you realize 3 people can do it. Let's get rid of 1. It's you gotta milk people. That's what they do. They milk people.
it's-
Understood, but for their own satisfaction,
channels.
I'm saying about this, for their own satisfaction, do you think that they would not pay to have the utmost service and the utmost experience?
There is no such thing as customer satisfaction sometimes. In certain things, customer satisfaction does not mean anything. Because you're just giving them the money. They don't care. You're going to get it anyway. You're going to get it this way or that
Nah.
it's
way.
wild, but
Satisfaction is not a thing.
See,
It's
'cause
not
then-
something people focus on. They say it is because it sounds good. It makes you feel happy while they're robbing.
Yeah, this kind of gives me a little bit of somebody's trying to get the trust fund money. Like,
ooh, hoo, hoo.
cause
Oh,
Well, I mean,
this is what the stepson. No, the stepson, right?
well, he was on there too, no?
No, he wasn't.
no.
He was at a concert and texting OnlyFans women and cussing out Cardi B. He was doing a lot. While his dad was being crushed by Poseidon under the water.
The problem, mind nigga said Poseidon. Anyway, the reason why I say like we can't really jump like this is as much as we gotta realize. Allegedly, people has passed away, has been confirmed, I guess, by
Who?
higher ups, right?
Who?
The higher ups, whoever they were. I don't remember what.
I like how you refer to the.
What?
I like you referring to the higher ups. That's
Right.
that's making me laugh right now. The higher ups said.
But you gotta keep this in mind, guys. This, like, he's grieving. And the problem is, this is the problem, because it's like, this bad situation happens, and let alone, like, just the controller, what controlled the submarine was crazy.
A PS4.
See,
okay. PS4 controller. Not even a 5.
Kind of going back to your question of like, do you think that society is desensitized to death? And I was saying no.
Right.
But like, I think the reason why me saying that people are not desensitized to death is because of the actual causation of the death. Right? Like,
it was very avoidable.
Yeah, like I said, the fact that we are saying we're stressing about all these other factors that implicated even when we go on a boat as everyday citizens. The liability forms, the checks, today's commercial airlines, they say how many people are checking, how many times this flight is being looked over, the checklist, and so it's like all these steps could have been done. And yet this is a trip that has been done. People have gone on this trip, and yet these steps were not done.
I'll say this because,
Yeah.
That was a good take. And I don't want people to believe that I'm cooning out for these people. I'm just saying. I will say
I'm not gonna repeat
that,
that.
yes,
I'm not gonna repeat that.
There is like, a lot of things that don't make sense in how you die and this and that. I agree with you. I agree with you with that. I'll say that. That's something that's factual. I just feel that it's like, yes, a lot of things don't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to me as a whole. Like, nothing makes sense in this situation.
Yeah.
What if they were looking for treasure? I'm sorry, I have to go there.
Somebody's inheritance is on the boat?
On
the Titanic?
I mean...
Sorry, that's a lot of, like, I keep talking a lot of these theories. I'm so sorry.
Nah, but, like, they could have been trying to discover an artifact.
Maybe.
Right?
I'm gonna say this.
But again, what happened to the Jacques expeditions when they had all the film crew with them and everything?
Look, man, the budget ran out.
Listen.
We were just talking about budget cuts.
Leave
$250,000
and Aquaman's place alone. It's not yours anymore. If it's synced and it's down there, you don't need to see it. It's not yours anymore.
No, but I mean, like, yes, it is worth to see. See, like, that, even saying that, right? Like, I think that we should discover these things. If somebody has the money to go and discover it, definitely do it. For sure.
What is it, 95% of the ocean is not explored?
A lot of it is not. But I think we should take some time. Obviously, some people are going to die in the process of doing so, which is normal. Because, again, these are untreaded territories. And like most things that are untreaded and unaware of or unknown, people do die in the process of it. But those people are making the choice to do so for opening up the gates for other people to be able to have that access. Because, again, that is a form of privilege. Okay?
Right.
Again, these people privileged did that. That's what it is. I don't deny that people should go and explore. But what I feel like, what I am listening to and hearing is that the negligence is what I'm hearing. To ensure that there was even a capability for a high level of success.
How come they didn't talk about that actually? Like the success of like. Yeah, I didn't really hear like.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many things that I'm like, we're too tripped up on the fact that these millionaires died. It's like, okay, are they looking for sympathy?
I'm looking for some type of respect on the dead.
Yeah, of course.
Like when I see one meme, I laughed and I felt bad that I laughed. And it was a nigga going underwater and saying it was like a meme saying that when you find out that the man's left their stuff, their funds, their credit card in the submarine. And
Oh,
man is somewhere in the world. I cannot, like, the dark humor is terrible to me.
was
It
this
is terrible.
was this equal or worse when the Queen passed?
But here's the
Mm.
thing: the thing about it, I know the Queen did not like. For me, it wasn't even the Queen because it's like, for me, when it comes to death and people reacting to death, two things I know for sure that were iconic. That I was like, oh my gosh, these people are going in. Was the Queen and Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, yo, jeez, yeah.
I've seen hell is hot for some people, and they believe it's okay, and that's fine. The choice is yours. But the Queen too. Hell is like some people were saying some stuff that I kind of just went, ooh, now that was harsh. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
I
at
don't
the
know.
end of the day, I feel like, you know, I know you say it's okay for people to discover, but at the same time, I'm kind of confused because people are still trying to discover them damn self. So it's like,
Bars.
let alone go into the sea. The sea will be there for like, but let's just figure out your brain first, at least. If there's anything you need to discover and invest some money into, it is yourself and your mental health.
Yes, this is true. This is
Like,
very
if there's
true.
anything you want to put some money into, it's mental health, and yeah, I think that is well needed because I feel like social media has desensitized a lot of things. People just be posting dead bodies like it's nothing.
Like yeah, it's a little. Yeah, yeah. Twitter's
And,
kind of.
and how, like, as a kid, remember seeing something like that is like traumatic. It's like you see it and you're like, oh my god, you can't unsee it. But
Yeah, it's
now
yeah.
you see it as just out in the open. Like, even in the newspaper, they don't have no problem showing black people dying on screen.
That's
You know what I
just
mean?
yeah.
It's like,
No, if you notice, they don't easily.
that,
They don't care the condition. They just show it.